I've got to be honest, our strawberry plants have not been thriving lately, and instead of hiding it, in today's video we're finally going to be doing something about it, and we're finally going to be replacing all 350 strawberry plants. So we have a lot of work to do, so throughout today's video you're going to be able to find exactly what we did wrong for the past 6 months, how we're going to be preventing those things in the future, and most importantly, planting all 350 strawberry plants. So before we do go ahead and start today's video, please subscribe, hit the notification on all so you're not missing a video, and please like this video. Let's go ahead and start today's video. Now, there are 3 major things we did wrong, and one is something that we just couldn't prevent. When we built the system did not look like this. The grow lights were way closer to the actual plants. So the thing is, they grew weird because they were trying to adapt with how close the grow lights were. Meaning, instead of getting that plant wanting to reach for the light, it's growing more as a bush and kind of just cramming all its leaves together, which is not what we wanted. So as you can see now, a lot of our flowers are sadly being suffocated with how tightly the strawberries are together, and we got to do something about it. Number 2 is nutrients. At the end of the day, you have to get nutrients right when you're growing plants indoors, and sadly, that's just something that we didn't succeed in. What we did wrong was some days we would do too little, while some days we would do way too much and accidentally shock the plants. And third, the most important thing is do not let your strawberries sit in water. Now, I did this a few times. I let them sit in just really wet soil, while some days their soil would be bone dry. I just could not succeed in getting that in the very middle, which will form huge problems in your indoor growing and in your outdoor growing when you're growing strawberries. And the question is, what are we going to be doing to fix it? Now, the past 6 months, we've been learning like crazy. We've been learning the balances in between nutrients, how to water our plants, and the grow lights especially. And after many trials and errors, we finally fixed the grow light, so that's a big check mark off the drawing board. Number 2, we have a ton of research on our watering system now. So I'm super happy to announce that we finally have systems in place to be able to water these plants as efficiently as possible. So that's a huge thing. Above all, we're working with some incredible companies to be able to get us some liquid nutrients. At the end of the day, they provided some measuring stuff, so we are very excited about that, so we do not have the chance of making any more mistakes. And keep this in mind, this is also very important. Strawberry plants need a lot of care. Of everything I've grown in this room, strawberries by far are the hardest and most complicated to grow indoors, and in a lot of cases, outside also. They are very hands-on. So keep that in mind. If you are growing strawberries, you gotta be ready to put as much time as possible towards your strawberry plants to care for them and be able to let them grow and establish their root structure as best as possible. And I will say some problems we've really ran into lately is the pH level and keeping it more acidic soil. So the pH level you really want to have your strawberry plant sitting in is between 5.5 and 6.5. You do not want it to be above 7.0. And the thing is, that is what we're getting right now. The thing is, after trying many different ways of bringing down the pH level, I have not been able to get the pH level down. So I'm going to be trying to do a lot more research in the next few weeks to be able to figure out how I can be able to bring that pH level down more efficiently. And I will say, if you guys have any recommendations, like maybe lemon juice or maybe something more acidic, please give down your recommendations in the comments below. I would greatly appreciate it. Now that we've covered everything that we did wrong with the strawberries and what we're going to be doing to fix it, let's go ahead and start unboxing what 350 strawberry plants looks like. Now, I've ordered for this company before. They're on Amazon. I strongly recommend them. What's even better is I've ordered from them in the very middle of winter. In fact, I believe there's 3 inches of snow outside when I ordered this. And they delivered some incredibly high quality strawberry plants. Actually, some of the strawberry plants I was showing you guys earlier that looked really healthy. So these bags are huge. I mean, check out this root structure. So this is a bundle of 25 of them. Looks absolutely incredible. Root structure looks so healthy. And what's even better is you can see there's a lot of green. So they've been growing in their greenhouse for quite some time. So that is awesome there. I'm gonna lay that over there. But what's crazy is, let's count this. This is 75 strawberry plants. Look what's still in the box. That is insane. So let's just 100, 150, 200. Just completely dumped one in the box. 25 more right there, which is kind of nicely laid out right there. And then we got one more bag. This is going to take a very, very long time to plant over the course of the next few days. The last time I planted this, it took me 7 hours to plant 50 strawberry plants. So throughout the rest of today's video, I'm gonna be walking you guys through exactly how we clean up our plants, how we soak them, how we're going to be planting them, and how we're going to be growing them over the course of the next few weeks to be able to get them ready to be going in their main homes in those containers. But before I do go ahead and start planting these, we need to go back in the room and check out exactly what we're going to be needing to take out. Now sadly, throughout today's video, there are a lot of strawberries we're going to have to remove, and it's going to take a very long time, but at the end of the day, hopefully this time next month, it's going to look a lot better. Another thing is, you can see a lot of them are dried up, and that is not what we want to see. But luckily, these 2 rows right here started in this section, which is awesome because now they're growing correct. You can see they're reaching for the light and they're looking absolutely beautiful. So these will luckily not be removed. Now we've seen a few die out in these right there, so we will have to replace those. But once that's done, everything will be making immense amounts of progress, and I will probably have to plant a little bit extra than what we really need. Because sadly, like in that case, we will see a few die out over time, and that's just how plants are. So let's go ahead and go over to our planting table and our planting section and figure out exactly the supplies we're going to be needing to be able to accomplish this huge task. Now this video is not sponsored by them, but I want to give them a huge shout out. This is where we're getting all our strawberry plants. You can find them on Amazon under Seascape Strawberry Bare Roots. I strongly recommend them. They've continually provided incredible products and extremely high quality plants. I strongly recommend you checking them out. Now, throughout today's video, I really do want to cover exactly how we are going to be preparing our plants. Now, first thing we need to do is take off all the dead parts on the bare root. It is extremely important because they just won't grow. Now, since it's super dry, we're going to want to soak it for about 30 minutes to an hour. Now it's been a good amount of time. Let's go ahead and take it out, move that cup of water, and we're going to be using the mix of perlite and coconut coir. It's fantastic for indoor growing. Now, something that's super important is you gotta have a well-draining cup. It is extremely important because strawberries are very precise on being in the middle, not the soil being too wet and not it being too dry. I'm going to go ahead and fill it up about halfway full with soil. Now, it is also extremely important not to bury the ground. You're going to be seeing me holding it up to be able to make sure. Then we're going to go ahead and kind of compact the soil around it to be able to really hold that structure together and really help it grow up extremely strong. Then, this is the final result. We can go ahead and add some water now. And that's how we plant our bare roots. Our strawberry plants, when they look like this, will start on this shelf extremely close to the actual grow lights. Over time, they're going to go all across this room to eventually this shelf, where they're a little bit farther away from the grow lights, which will be designated in that shelf right here to be able to form that growth. Then, over the course of the next 2 months, after they look extremely healthy and look somewhat like this and just incredibly healthy and awesome, they will be moved to this shelf. But luckily, we've already done a little bit of this a few weeks ago, so every single one of these plants you see here will be planted today, hopefully. Then we'll begin the process of taking every single one of the plants out. And now that we've covered everything you need to know about how to plant your strawberry plants, we can go ahead and begin the process in the time lapse of taking out almost every single one of these strawberry plants. And once that's done, we can begin the process of planting 350 plants over the course of the next few days. So let's start the time lapse. Now I'm going to try my absolute hardest to be able to reuse as much of the soil as possible. So what we're going to do, we're just going to give it a good shake, try and get as much of the soil to kind of break up as best as possible. But it is as easy as just yanking on this. You can see the root structure, it's absolutely massive. We're going to get this a good shake, and then that's about all we can get off of it, maybe a little bit more. And then we do the same thing with everything else. I'm going to try and do this as much as possible. I need to let the soil sit and dry with all those roots in it to be able to dry. I'll try and sort as much of it out as possible by usually just going like this, kind of shifting through and trying to get as much of the roots that came up the actual root structure out as possible. And then, since there are salt and minerals in this from the root structures, we will have to get it a good wash. But once we're good with that, we can easily reuse the soil, which is a huge money saver. Now, there's zero chance I'm gonna be able to get all this done in just one day. So hopefully throughout the next 3 days, we can be able to get all this done. But the main goal for today is to be able to get every single one of these strawberry plants out, cleaned up. All we need to do is click a button, turn off the grow lights, and it's as easy as that. So let's go ahead and just start the time lapse. I'm trying to get everything done in just maybe one good time lapse, and we can go directly into cleaning up a lot of the strawberry plants, and we might call that a good wrap for today and go into tomorrow trying to get as much done as possible. Alright, a lot of progress has happened. Off of that time lapse, you could really see how many shelves were being completely just turned off and completely just ready for the new plants. I mean, check out how many empty shelves are behind me. I was not expecting to get that much done. It's been about 3 hours, so quite some time. Now, what's kind of just insane is how much soil was really sitting on those shelves, because I'm trying to reuse as much of it as possible, and for the most part, I've been able to get out about, I'd say maybe 90% of the soil. So down here you can see all the soil. There is so much soil, which is just absolutely awesome. But let's go ahead and really finish this part of today's video and try and get all these just old bad plants out and get them ready to be retaken by the new plants. Alright, the room is now done, and there's a lot of stuff that has happened. Lots and lots of trash bags, a lot of soil in here. I mean, check out all the soil. It's absolutely awesome. But now we will begin the process of all the bare roots. So, like what I was talking about earlier, what we're gonna have to be doing today is cleaning every single one of them, which will take a very long time, but I got about 3 more hours in the room today, so that should be easily enough time. So for the most part, all I had to do, clean up this area a little bit. I'm gonna need a way bigger container to soak all the plants in. So what I'll be doing is I'll be cleaning all these up, making them look like brand new and ready for planting. They'll be soaking for about 30 minutes to an hour, and then we'll put them in these trays with some damp paper towels sitting over them so they don't dry out overnight. And then we will begin the process of cleaning and planting a ton of these. Also, I need to make a lot more of these, which is easy. All you have to do is cut the bottom, like I explained in that kind of transition there a few moments ago. But for the most part, there's a lot to do, so let's go ahead and begin the process of really getting a lot of it done. All right, so now that we got all the soil good, we got all the plants ready to be cleaned, we need to start getting our soil ready, because this is going to take a few days to do. So we got a little filter right here. We're going to want to dump in some of that soil that was being used for the old strawberry plants, and then we're just going to grab the hose, make sure it's on a low setting, and we're just going to want to give it a good wash. Now we're going to let this sit for maybe just a few minutes right after, to just let as much water out as possible, because we don't want any water accumulating after at the bottom of their bucket. But I will say the reason why we did this is because it is extremely important to be able to get all the salts and minerals out. Now, when we planted it the first time with all the strawberries that we just trashed, there weren't any salts and minerals in it. But after plants can grow, and then this is the same thing for like big scale farms, the reason why they have to kind of take off a year and kind of just let the land sit is because those plants will take out a lot of the minerals and a lot of the nutrients out of the soil, forming salts. And salts is not that great for plants. So that's why we will have to do that to almost all the soil we will be reusing. Now, if it's like Miracle-Gro or something that's really, really good and high in nutrients, you do not want to do this because Miracle-Gro does not do good after you've kind of filtered it and cleaned it out. But since we're using coconut coir and perlite mix, this has whatsoever zero nutrients in it because we are feeding it nutrients in our water every single time it gets watered a few times a week. So keep that in mind. For a lot of mixes, you have to do a little bit more research before you do something like this. But for our setup indoors, this is what we're going to be doing. All right, again, we're gonna let this sit for a little bit, let it drain as much as possible, and then we're gonna do this about 1,000 more times with the rest of the soil and try and clean it as much as possible to be able to reuse it. And in the meantime of doing that about 1,000 times, we're gonna begin the process of cleaning off all the strawberry bare roots, and hopefully by the time both of those are done, we can go ahead and begin the process of planting everything in their pots. All right, for the most part, everything's looking good. I pretty much ran out of time for today, so I'm gonna prep these, put them in trays, put a towel over them that's wet, just to keep them good overnight, and hopefully tomorrow I can go ahead and clean everything off, start soaking them, and then hopefully I can plant everything tomorrow. It'll be a very busy day tomorrow and very, 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 very fun, but at the end of the day, sadly I ran out of time. Another update is the soil. Now, there's so much soil, I'm still shocked, but I've done a little bit. Now, at the end of the day, that is still a lot of soil that has been rinsed and cleaned, so I'm very satisfied with accomplishing that. Tomorrow is also going to be a big day, cleaning a lot of the soil and rinsing it out. Well, today has been a super productive day, and hopefully tomorrow will be even more productive with us hopefully finishing planting everything. Now, there's a lot to do tomorrow, so we'll have to see how much we can actually get done. As always, this is going to be a wrap for today, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, where hopefully we'll be getting a lot more done tomorrow morning. It is the next day. Now, conveniently enough, it is 6 p.m. right now, so I'll be completely honest, I've been in the room for about 2-ish hours. I've just kind of been focusing on the soil lately. I've done one thing of it. A little bit alarming because it's supposed to go below freezing tomorrow, so I can't really do anything outside. So for the most part, I'm gonna have to put a lot of the soil on hold. But for the most part, I'm gonna try and get as much planting done tonight as possible. So really, I'm gonna give you guys a few updates on really the progress of the strawberries, and we'll start the time lapse on trying to get as much done as possible today. All right, I've so far brought one of the trays in. This is the tray that I ended up cleaning up all the plants, and it's actually looking absolutely incredible. I'm gonna go ahead and put this on because I'm not gonna plant those yet. But walking into the germination room, aka the bathroom, we got a lot of strawberries. I mean, even with knowing that I ordered 350 strawberry plants, it's still like hitting me by surprise, the fact that it is 350 strawberry plants. It's absolutely incredible. But for the most part, it's all looking good. So let's go ahead and start the time lapse on trying to get as much planted as possible today. And really the first thing I need to do is start the process of cleaning up all the plants. All right, it is now the next morning. A lot happened yesterday. In a second, I'm going to give you guys a lot of updates. But sadly, it is raining and it is very, very cold outside. So sadly, we are not going to be able to work on the soil today. Luckily, we do have actually quite a lot. We have 2 bins completely cleaned up, so I'll be able to really use that for cleaning today and planting. So luckily today, we're going to be focusing directly on planting. So let me go ahead and show you guys around the room and then we can go ahead and start. All right, being in the germination room, all the strawberries are being stored in here. But yesterday, I ended up finishing all of the bare roots. Now, cleaning them, I will probably soak them today just to give them a little bit of an extra boost. But for the most part, there are so many plants in here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trays full of hundreds and hundreds of strawberry plants. So that is just absolutely awesome. I've also started the beginning phases of adding all the trays. I will have to bring these up a little bit higher because I don't really want the plants growing weird and reaching a lot higher for the lights. So I'll be stacking everything on this and turning the system on with these, and they should be on this shelf for maybe a week, probably 2 weeks. I'm gonna let them grow as much as possible. The more the root structure can be established, the better they will do in their main homes. So for the most part, everything is all set. I'm gonna try and mix as much of that rinsed out soil into that mix as possible. And then I'm gonna begin the phases of planting as many plants as I could possibly plant today. The goal is to finish today. I don't know if that's actually gonna happen. So let's go ahead and start that giant time lapse of trying to get as much done as possible. All right, it's been about 3 hours. Very, very long time lapse, but there are so many strawberries. Just check all those out. That is insane. I mean, check out that view. That is super, super cool. So, for really the most part, a lot of them are making a lot of progress. Now, the soil mix I'm doing right now, I'm doing about half of the soil that's good. So that's just gonna be a mix of brand new coconut coir and brand new perlite. Then I'm also doing the other half with what just got rinsed. I'm adding some more perlite to it just to help with drainage. Now, what's crazy is there are so many strawberries done, but there are so many strawberries left. I mean, we've barely made a dent into it. But I mean, that's awesome. Lots and lots of progress. But for the most part, I'm gonna take a small break, try and get a lot more done later tonight, and then hopefully tomorrow we can be on track to hopefully finish. And that is a big wrap for today. Lots of work, lots of stuff has happened. We've gone through an entire container of soil and almost an entire container in the other room, so that's huge. Also, there are so many strawberries planted. I mean, just check that out. That is absolutely incredible. But there are, I have no idea how many are planted right now, but there's definitely a lot heading into the germination room. There's definitely still a lot to plant. I'm gonna go ahead and put a damp towel over it, put another tray over it to preserve it overnight, and then hopefully we'll be able to finish. But right now we're about, I'd say exactly at the halfway point right now. So huge, immense progress today. But for the most part, I'll see you guys in the morning when we go ahead and try and finish everything else tomorrow. All right, it is the next day. Now, just a very, very quick update on where we're at with progress right now. Right now with the strawberry plantings, we are about halfway done. We have actually a lot more soil than I thought, so a lot of this is gonna have to stay in here till a lot of the plants go into their main home. And for the most part, there are a lot already planted. I mean, check all that out. That is a lot, but again, we still have a ton to plant in the germination room. I mean, for the most part, I did end up putting the brick over this because I couldn't keep the tray down, but there's definitely a lot left. Again, halfway point. It took a long time to do a lot of this yesterday, so I'm hoping maybe we can go a little bit quicker today, but as always, let's go ahead and start the time-lapse, and hopefully by the time we're done with today, we'll finally be able to say we're completely done with planting the beginning stages of all the strawberries. So let's go and start that time-lapse. Alright, huge, immense amounts of progress. For the most part, we are completely done, and there are so many strawberry plants in here. I mean, check all of that out. Over 350 throughout all of this. Lots of rows. I wasn't really expecting to fill this much of this shelving row, but I mean, there's a lot. Everything still needs to be a little bit more watered. I ran out of room over here, so I'm gonna try and put a little bit more in just the extra stuff on that shelf. But for the most part, I'm going to let all of this sit overnight, let it all grow, let it all thrive, and then I'm gonna end the video tomorrow once we can be able to see all of these starting to absolutely flourish under these grow lights. So I'll see you tomorrow. All right, and it is officially the next day. There are so many plants. They've really been thriving the last few days, but it's just absolutely insane that there are 350 strawberry plants right here. And just after hours and hours and days of extremely hard work, it is an absolute huge accomplishment to be able to get here. So this video is going to be split into two videos. This video being getting all the plants ready, and the second video moving all the plants to what will be their main home in the main zones. So, sadly, this is going to be the end of the video. If you guys do like these types of videos, please subscribe, hit the notification on all so you know every video, and please like this video. If you guys do like these types of videos, you can find a really, really good video right here, and then you can also subscribe right here for even more content that will hopefully be coming out, and a lot more content that's already come out. So thank you so much for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys when we post next. Peace.